welcome back. Let's continue with our conversation of the Chair of Chairs in the city of Johannesburg, Colleen Makhubele, as well as a leader in the Gauteng region of the COPE party. She is here with me in studio, and we're trying to speak to her about the suspension and non-suspension, and now the national leadership confirming today that you're in fact not suspended. So before the break, you were talking about how the party is definitely in crisis, and that as a young person that joined the party, you're disappointed because of what the mandate was, or still you believe still is. You know, when you joined the party, did you ever think that you would be having so much infighting?
Not really, because we actually thought the party has purged out the people that we thought were planted within COPE to split it, to destroy it, you know, and ensure that it doesn't grow. But I think now, having been watching what happened in the past 4 weeks, you know, when I first came in, actually it was Dennis Bloom who used to tell me to say people are in COPE for their own interest. They've been planted either by ANC or this one to come and destroy the party. But I think now my eyes are opening to say, who are these people actually?
Is he one of them, do you think?
I reserve my comments for now, but I'm not denying it from my perspective, because it doesn't make sense for me. For a party leader who's supposed to be a leader, whether you're in the top 5 or not, you're taking instruction from the DA. You want to destroy your own councillor because of instructions from the DA. You have not sat with me one-on-one like this to understand, Colleen, you are a councillor party representative. We saw you voted differently. What happened? You get information from a DA somewhere in Cape Town. You run into the media and calling me a rogue, unethical, irresponsible, and you have not even consulted with the region that I report to. So for me, that clearly tells me this is not somebody who's interested in building the party, somebody who's interested in gaining relevance for himself. You know, one of the things that we as black people must guard against, you cannot measure your self-worth and identity and belonging because you suddenly sit with Helen Zille and you're sitting with Corne Mulder in a boardroom, you sit with John Estes, and that makes you feel important, such that you forget yourself and whatever they tell you to do, you do. We're an independent party. When we sit with them across the table, we sit as partners. We sit as people who bring value, and we're allowed to disagree with them. If they're not doing right, like they're not doing right now in the city of Joburg, we're allowed to remove them out of power. Our vote matters. And when you degrade yourself to a level where you must be instructed, fire this one, do that one, like other parties have done, it's really disappointing. For me, we definitely have elements within COPE that needs to be rid of. And if you look at how COPE has declined over the years, the common elements are there. Ntate Bloom has been in the party since, and it hasn't grown. It has been going down. Ntate Lukwata too has been in there. Ntate Madisha too has been in there. Clearly, we need fresh minds and fresh leadership within the party to make sure that it grows. People that have the interest of the regional structures, have interest of the residents, and those that vote for us.
And I mean, you talk about, I mean, I remember in 2009, after those elections, COPE was well on its way to becoming at least very close to the third opposition, right? You know, maybe even challenging the DA itself in the National Assembly. And now you look at it, it's become really a shell of what it is. So do you not worry that after these two events this year alone, that COPE will not have enough time to bring back its reputation by 2024, and you'll be kicked out of the National Assembly?
Look, I do worry. It's normal. And we have those debates as well within ourselves. But what gives us hope is really our electorate. We go and touch base with them. You know, even just 2 days ago, we're together with them in Eldos, and they are saying, look, we understand what you're doing. We see you bringing a different light, whatever. Please proceed. We will push on. But what we're going to push for is for finally really the top leadership to sort out all of these things that is happening. We worry because there is no time. Most of the parties have already been to their elective conferences. They know who are their leaders. I mean, the ruling party is going to their final one now in December. We still have not even done regional, provincial, and even national. And of course, those things come with war, come with bad publicity, because it's a fight, it's competition, it's people's interest. So it's concerning that we'll be going towards 2024 with some of these things still bubbling in the media for us. And I don't have an answer for you right now. And we are just hoping that by next year, March, you know, these things would have been sorted out so that we've got at least, you know, 12 months or so to get ourselves together, to really create a better impression out there through media and through our work on the ground.
All right, let's talk about the court case that basically nullified the council sitting that you ended up chairing. And the fact that in South Africa's eyes, besides what is seemingly happening to COPE or inside COPE where we are looking, there also seems to be this battle between yourself and the executive mayor, because when she responds in her way, she's also gunning for you as well, you know, in her responses in public. So, you know, what do you say to the fact that even what you that means everything that happened that day is null and void?
Look, I think, let me backtrack so that I clarify. The court case was really to bring clarity, to say, in the absence of a speaker, when the position is totally vacant, who acts in there? Previously, I've been, as a chair of chairs, the deputy speaker position, I act automatically as a speaker. And I've acted before, I've run the State of the City address. But we've never had in the city of Joburg, apparently in the history, where totally that position is vacant. You know, and now what do we do? The interpretation of the rules were different. I know the DA has flown with it as if I was imposing myself. I want to do it works for their narrative. But the reality of the matter is this. The legislature legal did not interpret the rules the same way that the DA legal team was interpreting them. And those conflict opinions or legal opinions had to be tested in court. There's nothing wrong with that. Because according to the legislature, I was supposed to automatically act. I don't make myself act. You know, it's protocol, it's legal, it's everybody else who says, listen, you are here now. And I don't even issue a notice for a meeting. I give an instruction to say we should be having a meeting. It's legal. Who will sit and look at the rules, the laws, the time frame, etc., and then issue a notice for a meeting, having looked at everything else. It means then, in their minds, in their understanding, I complied with everything. Otherwise, they would not have issued that notice for the meeting. Of course, it went to court, and the court said no, because of the vacancy. I'm not an acting speaker. It should be run by the city manager. Not a problem. You know, we are happy with that decision. It brought clarity. Even going forward, now we know when this type of situation happens, the city manager must take over. Now the city manager has set up the meeting for 28th of September. So the meeting is going to sit on the 28th. It doesn't change the agenda. It doesn't change whether we want to elect a speaker or whether the motions are going to come on that day or not.
And it really doesn't change
nothing. It's just that it gives the DA time to, like now, get rid of councillors like me, councillors of ACDP that are being chased again through courts as well. So they needed this time to make sure that they read the elements that they feel it's a threat and get new councillors in. But, you know, the battlefield is in the council. We're still going there.
Yeah. And of course, you know, to tell you the truth, it just says to South Africa, maybe we're a country that's not ready for a coalition. And we're going into a 2024 national government election where that is also a possibility. At some point, it looks like it's drawing nearer and nearer. But political parties seem to squabble a lot, and services to us are then, you know, not rendered.
You know, I don't believe that, because we've had a government of national unity with Utata Mandela, the first government. That worked. We've had a government of local unity. We're part of that in the city of Joburg with the eNCA and many other parties. Before this current government, we're already in the government of local unity. You didn't see any of these things. It worked. Only when the DA is there. The DA failed in 2016 in the city of Joburg because of the arrogance, supremacy. They want to bully. They think they're smarter than everybody else. And that doesn't help them, because you can't govern alone. You didn't win elections, you know, so you can't bully everybody to do what you want to do. And we didn't vote for DA. So our members must also find expression through us, you know, in the city and in council. So DA cannot run coalition. That I agree with you. I don't think they are ready to govern this country. They are not ready to govern the city. They can't run anything with that attitude. And they are still going to fail. I mean, everywhere they are governing, they are failing, to be honest, except for Cape Town, where, of course, the black people there are mum, dumb, and not dumb, stupid, but gagged. And they can't speak, they can't do anything because they've been oppressed and suppressed so much. They're not able to, look at Guguletu, look at everywhere else, because they've bulldozed themselves in there. The DA is not a party that's ready to run the country. It comes from the NP. It is the NP, it is that Democratic Party that was under apartheid. They have not shed that skin. So
you know
until
what I'm
they
going to do is I'm going to try and extend an invite to Executive Mayor Mpopalatsi and yourself, for the both of you to, you know, I think it's only fair for her to also respond on behalf of her party in terms of what you're saying about the DA, because essentially you're calling them racist and bullies.
Certainly.
But thank you so much for speaking to us here on eNCA, and thank you very much for your time. That is the City of Johannesburg's Chair of Chairs, Colleen Makhubele. She's also a leader of the Gauteng region of the Congress of the People.